APS Raiwala fraternity, I, Himani Pundi, extend a hearty welcome to you all, our Ethics Bowl 2022. Needless to say, the match is going to be held between the collaborative team of APS Kanpur and Udhampur and individual team of APS Rakmuti. Here, I would like to quote that APS Kanpur and APS Udhampur are indeed fortunate enough as Northern Command have given them this bigger platform to practice. So, for a while, everybody, every participant of this event, they will unmute themselves and they will say with me, Hail Northern Command! Hail Northern Command!
Hail Nether Command.
Yes, you should be thankful to them. Blessings of elders' work. Trust me, you are some of the privileged souls who have got the opportunity to receive blessings from Mrs. Sunita Dwivedi, Regional President Awwa, Northern Command. Let us hear the message from ma'am.
डियर स्टूडेंट्स, आप सभी को मेरा स्नेह भरा अभिनंदन। आप सभी लोग पिछले कुछ दिनों से एथिक्स बोल की तैयारी के लिए अपने टीचर्स के साथ मेहनत कर रहे हैं। हार्ड वर्क मेक्स ऑल थिंग्स पॉसिबल, सो हैव फेथ इन योरसेल्व्स एंड गिव योर 100% विद कमिटमेंट, क्लैरिटी एंड कॉन्फिडेंस। Every day is a new day to learn, acquire, and gain your knowledge and skill for giving your best performance. Just remember that all dreams are within your reach. So go ahead with a positive mindset. एथिक्स बोल के माध्यम से आपको कई प्रतिभाशाली छात्रों के साथ विचार विमर्श करने का अवसर मिलेगा, जो कि आपके भविष्य के लिए बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण रहेगा। डॉक्टर एपीजे अब्दुल कलाम जी का कहना है कि अगर तुम सूरज की तरह चमकना चाहते हो तो सूरज की तरह जलना सीखो। सो वर्क हार्ड इन साइलेंस एंड लेट योर सक्सेस मेक द नॉइज। The best wishes, blessings, and prayers of whole Northern Command are with you all. I must thank all the teachers and team members who are working behind the scene. एथिक्स बोल के लिए आप सभी को ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं। जय हिंद।
Thank you so much, ma'am. Kindly accept our heartfelt thanks to motivate the participants. Your pearls of wisdom and you yourself are indeed a guiding light not only for the participants but for all of us too. I have learned that good judgment comes from experience. Our judgment panel too comprises eminent and experienced personalities from various fields. Let me tell you, dear audience, that each judge in the panel has been selected for their integrity, experience, and their in-depth knowledge of the world. We are immensely proud to have them as our jury for the day. To enlighten you more on our judges, I request Captain Diksha Sharma, Principal APS Raiwala, to please introduce and welcome our jury members. Please, ma'am.
Thank you, Himani. A very good morning to one and all present here. I, Captain Diksha Sharma, Principal APS Raiwala, welcome Mrs. Rita Joshi, the Zonal President, Awwa, 1 Corps, Mrs. Jaya Agrawal, Chairperson, Education Committee, Awwa, Northern Command, Mrs. Daisy Sidhu, Member, Education Committee Representative, Awwa, 1 Corps, SO Education 1 Corps, and SO Education, Northern Command, complete Awwa, Northern Command, 1 Corps, and members of Education Committee, and everyone who is watching this event with us today. This is the second prestigious match for Northern Command Ethics Ball 2022, In this match, the collaborative team of APS Udhampur and APS Kanpur will go against APS Rakhnuti. So all the very best to these teams. APS Raiwala feels privileged and honored to be the host of this match. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Mrs. Sunita Dwivedi, the Regional President, Awwa Northern Command, for giving us this opportunity to organize this match, which gives a wonderful platform for young and curious minds to venture into the maze of ethical dilemmas and helps them to come out as better human beings. I will now introduce our esteemed judges for today's match, and once I finish with the introduction of each and every judge, I would request them in 2 lines, they please give their best wishes to the participants and encourage them. Our first judge is Mr. K.C. Joshi, who is presently practicing as an senior advocate at Delhi High Court. He has been in the law profession since 2012. Previously, he has worked with the Ministry of Home Affairs, New Delhi, and has also taught at the prestigious IAS Academy, Mussoorie. He has completed his Masters in History and Bachelor of Law from Delhi University and Diploma in Journalism from Rajendra Prasad Institute of Journalism, Bharati Vidya Bhavan, and certificate course in Art Appreciation from National Gallery of Modern Art, Delhi. Such a versatile personality he is. He has even translated a classic, The Varieties of Religious Experiences by William James, into Hindi under the title Devi Abhushan Ke Prakar and Gitanjali of Rabindranath Tagore. So I would most humbly request Mr. K.C. Joshi to give his blessings and good wishes to the participants. Over to you, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are, sir. Yes, you are.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning,
Sir,
students.
please put on your video also, sir. I would request.
Okay. I think some problem.
Yes, now it is fine. Now it is fine.
Am I visible now?
Yes, sir.
Am I visible?
Yes, sir. You are.
Visible and audible both?
Yes, both.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, students. And very excited to see how the thing goes on, your presentation. What I say in the beginning, speak your truth quietly and firmly. That means say whatever you have to say calmly and confidently. Try to stick to the theme and try to answer the questions accurately. Try to answer what exactly has been asked. So all the best. Let us see. I'm very excited to listen to all of you. Best of all, once more. Best to all of you. All the best to all of you.
Our second judge is Dr. Ipsit Pratap Singh, Assistant Professor, Department of History and Culture, and a Program Officer, NSS, Dev Sanskriti Vishwavidyalaya Shanti Kuch in Haridwar. A member of Department of Career Guidance and Support, he has participated and presented research paper in more than 30 international conferences. That's a credit. He has published more than 15 research papers in international journal and is a recipient of Erasmus and Commonwealth Scholarship. He has also been awarded by UP government for innovative ideas for internal security of the state and by Uttarakhand Science Education and Research Center, Cultural Innovation in Education. He has also worked at Lovely Professional University as an assistant professor. Please help me in welcoming him with a huge round of applause. And I would request him now, please address the participants and convey to them your best wishes. Please, sir.
My respectful pranams to everyone. And it's a great opportunity to be here. It's a new learning experience for you, for me as well. And it means the month of auspicious Shravan month, the month of Lord Shiva. So again, it becomes more auspicious for us. And one thing I would like to say that, as Kailash sir also said, that be calm, be cool, be productive, be positive. One more thing, walk the talk. Whatever you are speaking here, whatever you are narrating here, you are answering the questions, you are explaining anything. So in life also apply this. So it should not be limited to this session, not should be limited to the ethics ball. It should be applied in your life also. So thank you very much. Thank you, Principal Ma'am. Thank you everyone for inviting me here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And now I would introduce to you the third judge. She is the Awwa rep with us in Raiwala. She is Mrs. Swati Datta. She has completed her graduation from Delhi University and Masters in Finance MBA. She also has a diploma of nursery teachers training and has been associated with the education field. And along with teaching experience in pre-primary and primary schools, probably she understands the values and the ethics and morals that we are talking about today. And being from the Awwa fraternity, I would now request her to say a few words and encourage the participants. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Principal Ma'am, for the introduction. Good morning to all present. Ethical Bowl combines the excitement and fun of a competitive tournament with a valuable educational experience for all. Really love this idea of this healthy discourse. I just want to wish good luck to all the students. Excited to see so many young, beautiful faces and look forward with delightment to listen to all your thoughts. Very pleased to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, now as I have already introduced all the three judges to you, I thank all the judges for taking out their valuable time for the event. And last but not the least, I give my best wishes to both the teams in the competition today. And I also extend my wishes to APS Udhampur and APS Kanpur, who are going to represent the whole Northern Command at Central Awwa competition. Everyone here at APS Raiwala will be rooting you, and we stand by you like a rock in support. And anything that APS Raiwala can do or help you, we look forward to that. Thank you so much. And with this, I come to the end of my words. And I would now request our moderator, Mrs. Himani, to start today's match. Over to you, Himani.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I thank all the jury members from the core of my heart for being with us, and I also thank our principal, ma'am, for her nice words. There has been a great buzz about Northern Command Awwa Ethics Bowl. It has been the talk of the town for past few days. So let us have an introduction with our participants from all the teams. First of all, I request APS Udhampur, Team APS Udhampur, to kindly introduce themselves. APS Udhampur.
Good morning, ma'am. Myself, Abha Sharma from APS Udhampur.
All the best, Abha.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. I am Ishan Pandey from APS Udhampur.
All the best, Ishan.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kavisha Tulwar. I'm from APS Udhampur.
All the best, Kavisha.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
You are, in the eyes of every spectators right now. You all children. Yes, next. From APS Kanpur, who all we have today?
Good morning, ma'am. I'm Shivan Srivastava from APS Kanpur.
Shivansh, you are the only one who is representing APS Kanpur?
Yes, ma'am. I'll be the only one representing APS Kanpur today.
Great. I request now APS Rakmuti, the team APS Rakmuti, to please introduce themselves.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Nikhil Kumar from this side. I'm representing APS Rakmuti today.
Good morning, ma'am. My name is Samriti and I'm from APS.
Good morning, ma'am. I am Ashita from APS Rakmuti. Good morning, ma'am. I am Els from APS Rakmuti.
Great. Girls, there is a suggestion that when you speak, when you are going to deliver your commentary, please come a bit closer to mic so that you are clearly audible to all the spectators, especially the judges.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
Now, thank you so much, children. It's a pleasure to have the shining stars from APS Kanpur, Udhampur, and Rakmuti with us. So, without further ado, let us have draw of lots, which will help us decide as to which team will perform first. After the draw of lots, teams will get their tags as Team A and Team B, respectively. Judges to please mark both the teams accordingly on your judgment sheets. So are you ready for the draw of lots? Everybody ready? Is this glass bowl visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
There are two chits in this bowl. One carries the collaborative team of APS Udhampur and Kanpur, and the other one belongs to APS Rakmuti. So I'm going to take one of the chits out. I'm shuffling them, although there are only two, but still I'm shuffling them. Is it clear to everybody? So now I'm taking out one chit and it says Team Nadan Command. Is it clear to everyone? Team Nadan Command. That is the collaborative team of APS Udhampur and APS Kanpur. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Is it visible to everybody? And obviously, Team B will be APS Kanpur. Clear to everybody? Great.
Yes, ma'am.
So, judges, to please take note of that our Team A is the collaborative team of APS Kanpur and APS Udhampur, and our Team B is APS Rakmuti. Every game has rules. Obey the rules and win the game. Although the rules have already been shared with each and every participant, their teachers in charge, still, I request all of you to listen to them carefully once again. So the format of the match is going to be like, once the competition begins, the moderator will introduce the case study and ask Team A a question based on it. Team A will be given 10 to 12 minutes to present their commentary, basically answering the ethical question put up by the moderator at the end of the case study. A reminder after 10 minutes and one after 12 minutes will be given. As you can see on your screen, there is a stopwatch kind of a thing. Okay, timer is there. So it will start running as soon as your time begins. After that, a reminder after 10 minutes and one after 12 minutes will be given. And after that, 2 marks will be deducted per minute for exceeding the time limit. Team B will be given 2 to 3 minutes to confer post Team A's presentation and present their viewpoint on the ethical question, lasting 5 to 7 minutes. Team B may agree or disagree to their viewpoints. In either case, they need to give their reasons. Team B is also required to ask either one or a maximum of 2 questions to Team A. In case Team B is willing to ask 2 questions, they have to pose both the questions together. No cross-questioning is allowed to the opponent team, and this is to be remembered by both the teams, Team A and Team B. Team A will be given 2 to 3 minutes to confer and another 5 to 7 minutes to answer the questions put up by Team B. Now team can decide whether all speak or some speak or only one member speak. Basically, the question should be answered. Then the moderator will request the judges to ask one question each. The judges are free to cross-question the team. Once all three judges are done with their questions, there will be a 15-minute break. After the break, Team B will present their presentation and same course of action will be followed as I just explained. I hope the rules and regulations are clear to both the teams.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. So as our team A is the collaborative team of APS Udhampur and APS Kanpur, I'm going to read the case study for you. Are you ready for that?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Rohan is a second-year undergraduate student at a prestigious college. He comes from a low-income household and is the first member of his family to attend college. During his freshman year, Rohan did well academically and socially, though he sometimes consumed alcohol at parties, and he was twice cited by the school for drinking in the dorms. Going into his sophomore year, Rohan already had 2 strikes, 1 more citation for underage drinking on school property, and he would lose his scholarship. During the semester, Rohan and you, assume you are his friend, are drinking at a party in a university-owned apartment. Rohan, dancing merrily, accidentally smashes a glass bottle and badly cuts his hand. Bleeding profusely, Rohan begins to feel lightheaded and wobbly. Concerned for his friend and beginning to panic, you reach for your phone to call for help. But Rohan pleads, just bandage me up as best as you can. If you call for the help, the school will find out I have been drinking and I will lose my scholarship. I'll go to the health center tomorrow morning and everything will then be fine. You are uneasy with this plan. You are not trained to clean and bandage a wound and don't want to be responsible for Rohan sustaining a serious permanent injury. On the other hand, Rohan insists that the decision to seek help must be his, not of you. Rohan says that he is willing to risk his health in order to avoid getting kicked out of school and thus not compromising with his future. By calling an ambulance, you might be changing Rohan's life forever. Now, Team A, your question is it morally wrong of Rohan to ask you not to call for help? Why or why not? Is the case study clear to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Is the question clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. So your time starts now and you can start with your commentary.
Good morning, everyone present here. I hope I'm audible. So this case is very unique. Instead of the usual where we are directly involved in a problem, here we are in a state of dilemma because this time we have to make a call, whether we can make a choice for someone else or not. As Rohan's friend, it's a natural urge to want to help him in the best way possible, but to not acknowledge the fact that the ultimate call about what's to be done is supposed to be his would be wrong. But cherry on the top here, ironically of course, is that Rohan is not completely sober. And unfortunately, neither are we. Our rationality and risk analysis has taken an obvious hit, but not so much for us to not be able to understand the pros and the cons of whatever decision we make. Rohan is well aware about his position and that he is on the verge of losing his scholarship. And being his friend, it's our moral obligation to him, in the spirit of friendship, to do everything possible for him to not lose his scholarship. But he also requires immediate medical attention, and since I don't possess the appropriate know-how or the right type of bandages or medicines, I can't treat him right. But of course, it is basic sense to wipe the wound and stop the bleeding. To talk about what's to be done, I'll give an example. In 2014, a drunk man and his mostly sober friend stole jewelry from a store in the middle of the night. And although it was the drunk man who was seen going inside the store in the middle of the night, his friend was given the same punishment for witnessing and assisting as he was waiting outside the jewelry store as a lookout. Similarly, in 2008, two people were caught after an attempted murder, and the main culprit was charged with half murder and his friend was charged with intent. What I'm trying to explain is that in a case like this, it's just not my friend Rohan who will be charged, but others as well as including me. So I will also be naturally resistant to take the so-called ethical way, and I'll instead come up with a creative solution. In 2009, a ruling came by district court in Karnataka that if a person is emotionally or mentally unstable, then the person with him can make the decision for him, if required. Even in medical cases, if a patient is emotionally unstable, then the doctor or their immediate contact can make a decision of surgery for them. Similarly, our case might be a notch down, but we do have the authority to make the decision for our friend, as all alcohol has obviously affected his thought process. To know what are these creative solutions that we could come up with, I would request my teammate Awwa to continue. Thank you.
To continue my speech and to answer, to continue my speech and to answer the moderator's question in the same breath. It is stated, was it morally right for him to stop you from calling for help? Maybe turn this question a bit. It wouldn't be morally right for me seeing my friend in pain and just turning a blind eye to it. Rohan has put his priorities clearly. It does make sense why he is doing so. One wrong step and future he must have wished goes down the lane. One side, it's family, future, and on the other, it's kind of a short-term problem about the hand injury. If seen from Rohan's perspective, of course, according to him, it is morally right because he is putting his family first, the needs of his family, his parents first. Of course, it is morally right. But on the other hand, if seen from a critical point of view, it is not morally right according to the people. He is risking his life. But the decision he had taken can be justified, I think maybe a bit justified, keeping in mind his background and what this scholarship means to him. And that doesn't cancel out the fact that he should have been careful even after having 2 strikes as mentioned in the case study. But practically speaking, at that time, I cannot be standing there and giving him lectures about truthfulness and morality. Now it's over to my friend.
Thank you, Awwa. Quoting lines from poem Road Not Taken, written by Robert Frost. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry, I could not travel both. Calling ambulance might change Rohan's life forever, and not doing so may affect his health. Too many conditions, my dear friend, and too many options, but have to choose one. A friend who helps someone when help is needed is a true friend. An immediate action would be to clean the cut and to provide a first aid. Then I could give a call to an ambulance and tell them to keep their siren a bit low, or search for a nearby clinic on a Google map and could get the information about the availability of some medicine which could make my friend feel better. This could be done by not getting into the eyes of anyone, as I can't put my friend's career at risk. Indeed, a good treatment is needed because it depends how deep the cut is, and which could be only analyzed by the doctor. A man is a product of his thoughts. What he thinks, he becomes. And even after getting 2 strikes, he must be aware and should not indulge in such stuff. Being an only support to his low-income household, one should choose what is best for himself. A drunk person could have so many thoughts, but one should be of self-realization. as a life is a process of self-realization. Relativity applies to physics, not to ethics, my dear friend. Rules governing the nature of physics change based on time and place, but rules governing someone's ethics should always remain the same. Over to Ishan.
Thank you, Kavisha. My dear friends, this is a classic moral dilemma situation where one has to consider one or more moral values, but can only honor one. Am I right? Here we can either look out for Rohan's future career or his health, right? We have to risk one of the things. Now, some might say that we should call for help, but what we don't understand is the fact that our friend is, in need. He is desperate, and we cannot risk his future because not just him, in fact, his family, his low-income household, which has been mentioned in the case study itself, will rely on it in the coming future. But at the same time, if we don't call for help, then we are entertaining the problematic behavior of our friend. Am I right? We are stuck in a conundrum. Now, what could be done? Well, if I was in the situation, then I would try to honor both moral values by thinking the situation through. I would try to keep calm and wrap a cloth around his arm to avoid blood loss, which anyone with no medical knowledge can do. The second step that I would make is to rush him to the hospital myself. That is, if I'm sober or someone else at the party who is sober. Considering I'm in university, I'm sure that I'm of legal age, and I have the driving license. Assuming I or everyone in the party has failed the driving test or no one is sober, we could just call a cab because considering that this is a prestigious university, I'm sure we are in a good city and cabs are nowadays available 24/7. After taking him to the hospital, I could just get him stitched up. Now, assuming the injury is serious, I am sure the staff won't be able to do a lot about the wound anyway. And they will probably rush Rohan to the hospital too. This way, I'm saving a lot of time. We're also missing out on the fact that if I do call for help, then I will be in trouble too. And knowing that this issue includes a serious injury, it would leave a mark on my academic history too. This is the course of action I would suggest. But if I'm presented with an ultimatum, then I believe I will make a decision when I'm present in the situation, because then I won't have the time to think. In fact, I would react based on the situation, believing what is right there and then. Thank you. That is it from our side.
There are still a few seconds, and APS Udhampur and APS Kanpur, their collaborative team is done with their presentation. Great. I must say that Team A has brought out some really compelling points. Now, following the format of the event, Team B, you are given 2 to 3 minutes to confer, and then you will give your viewpoints on the presentation of Team A. Team B, your confer time starts now. After 2-3 minutes, a bell will ring. टाइमर चलाओ. Team B, your confer time is over. Are you ready with your presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. So Team B, your presentation time starts now. Remember, you have to pose 1 or 2 questions to Team A at the end of your presentation. And your time starts now.
So your team presented the presentation like very well, and it was nice to listen to your opinions about this presentation. It was overall very good, and we like to hear your opinions. Now I would like to.
It was all a very good opinion on this topic, and it was properly presented. But there are some things which we would like to have in contradiction. What we think, or what we have in our opinion, is that we should not be helping him privately like this. Otherwise, we should be helping him in a public manner, so that he also realizes the consequences of drinking like this, and he also gets to know that whatever he has done so far, he has got 2 strikes already, and he was still consuming alcohol, and still he has to face that thing, and we cannot take him away right from these consequences, because whatever things we have done, we need to face it all at the end. So that is what we would like to inculcate in our friend if we were the friend of Rohan. So now I would like to request my friend to pose some questions on your presentation.
First of all, very well done, Team A, and you was fantastic when you just gave your presentation. And I just felt, yeah, you just presented the case from your point of view. You just told the both ethical point by the side of Rohan as well as the friend of his. But the thing is, the main focus I got to know is that you're focusing like we can help our friend privately. And Ishan has well presented all the ways that he could do if he would be at the place of his friend, if he would not be sober at that point of time, and he would not be drunk as well. And he was telling us that he also might be scared to help because he also worried about his academic session. Well, my friend, we are in ethical bowl and we are posing some things related to ethics. And I do not consider this thing ethical because you are not helping someone just because you might face issues after that thing is something called greediness. And I would not at all support that thing. And one thing was presented by Kavisha Talwar that she said that one should hide his thing and treat privately, what Kavisha said to us. But the thing is, what is a surety? What is a surety for the future for Rohan? Because he is a person who got 2 strikes already and still doing the things which is not good for him. And after that thing, you're saying we are going to help him privately. We are going to go in the nearest hospital, going to go on Google Maps as soon as possible to just search for it. But the thing is, after we helped him, after we got treated him, what is the surety that he would not repeat the same thing? Because what I think, Rohan might think that, no, my friends are there. If I do the mistake, yeah, they will cover it up. If I do something else, they're there for me. That's the best example for a friendship. But I don't think so. That is an ethical example of friendship. So concludingly, I would like to pose 2 questions to you. One question is that as Kavisha told us that one should hide this thing and treat him privately. What is the surety? What is the surety of the future of Rohan that he would not do the same thing in the future as well? And second, that is told by Ishan that he's scared to help him because his academic session might also get in danger. So I want to say, according to you, is it ethically right to just for your sake of greediness, you're not going to help your friend? And is it morally and ethically right to you as well?
Team A, were the questions clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Then go ahead because you have 2 to 3 minutes to confer, and after that you will come back with your answers. So Team A, your confer time starts now. Team A, your confer time is over. Are you ready to answer the questions posed by Team B?
Yes, ma'am, we are.
Great. Let me remind you that you are given 5 to 7 minutes to answer the questions posed by Team B. There will be a bell after 5 minutes and another bell will ring after 7 minutes. So are you ready with your answer?
Yes, ma'am, we are.
Great. Go ahead. Your time starts now.
Thank you very much, dear opponents, for putting a question. But I am actually confused with what you came up with. How does greediness comes into this picture? Because throughout our presentation, we were putting our friend first. The priority was friend. We were talking about treating that person. At the same time, we were thinking about how we can actually help him with his career also. So how does this greediness part comes in? And on the other hand, if we talk about friendship, it is about protecting your friend, my dear opponent. And we have actually talked about this throughout our presentation. And if you are telling us about the consequence, he will lose the only thing he has in his hand right now, that is his scholarship. How, in any sense, it is helping him? Even after he is being treated completely, you will be ending not only your friendship, but you will also end the career of that friend. Is that the kind of friendship you want to, make with your close friend, as you are telling? If this is going to happen, you cannot only be emotional, but you have to think rationally and critically also. Now it's over to my friend for further answering.
My dear friend, your major focus was how like we are giving priority to our friend and his health. Friend in need is friend indeed. You know that. Helping a friend is really like if you are talking about, there is no surety, there is no guarantee of anything. Life is a process of self-realization. At this moment, maybe he is realizing that whatever he has done is wrong. He is the only one support to his low-income household. And at this point, he is realizing that even if you're not giving priority to his health or our friends, he may lose his scholarship. This is not the thing we want. I know this is a mean world where people are so self-centered, they always think about themselves. But we need to think about our friend. We need to realize him whatever he has done or whatever path he has taken is wrong. That's what a self-realization is. And we can be a part of it. Over to my friend.
Thank you, Kavisha. My dear friend, I have understood your point. In fact, great commentary from your side. I believe that you have confused rationality with greediness and selfishness. Here, my dear friend, I have brought up the two moral values that had to be considered. I have emphasized on them. And you have just taken the last few lines where I have considered my part of the role in this situation too. You asked us what is the assurity given to us of his future. My dear friend, it is stated in the case study itself that he is doing academically well. We all know that occasionally drinking is fine. Indeed, this was his problematic behavior, but there is one assurity that I can give you is this is the only assurance that I can give you. If we bring in the higher authorities, he won't have a proper future. The future that is being, the opportunity that is being provided to him right now, right? So that is one thing that needs to be considered. You asked me a question about how it is ethically right to think about myself. My dear friend, I need to think about myself because here I am not completely at fault, right? But he is a friend of mine, and I need to I need to consider his situation as well and mine too. On to you, Shivansh.
Thank you. Thank you for your question, Team B. You asked us about how we sure about what his future will be like and whether we are sure that he'll not do it in the future. Well, we can't say for sure. What one thing I can say for sure that publicly ratting him out, as you mentioned, that the situation must be dealt with publicly were your words exactly. If we publicly handle the situation, it is going to do no good. He's going to lose his scholarship. He's probably going to go into depression. He's probably going to go through a lot of emotional trauma. And in my personal experience, that has never worked for anybody. It has only increased problems. It might increase his already his drinking problem that he already has. Instead, like my teammates suggested, that we handle this matter in private. We could ask him to go for therapy. We could ask him, we could motivate him, we could help him as friends, we could ask our friends to not do it around him. We could do so many things to help him out and handle his problem of drinking. You discussed about how it is not ethical for us to handle the situation privately. I think what you're saying is is a dream world. I appreciate that you've built a dream world for yourself, but it's a utopian vision. You're not discussing real world ethics and what actually could be done instead of what's good on paper, right? So I think that's it for me, and I hope we've answered your question as a team. Thank you.
Team A, you are done?
Yes, ma'am, we are done.
Great. Very eloquently answered, Team A. Wonderful. Now it's time for our judges to pose one question each to Team A. First of all, I request Advocate K.C. Joshi, who is presently working as an advocate in Delhi High Court, to kindly put forward his question to Team A.
Okay. Am I visible, audible?
Sir, you are clearly visible and clearly audible too.
Okay. First of all, very well done, students. It is a complex situation. We are in the region of gray. All ethical situations are in the region of gray. No easy answers, but you dealt with it as best as you could. Very nice. I'm really impressed. And I think no one will know a very clear-cut answer for this situation, right? So I congratulate you all for your such brilliant responses, brilliant presentation indeed. Now let me come to my question. Okay. Now what you do, you help him out, the fellow called Rohan, right? And you devise a situation where you manage to give him proper treatment, and you also manage to make the incident go unreported for the time being, right? But what happens later on, the authorities come to know that you did what you did, that you are supposed to report the incident immediately to authorities, but rather you did try to do the things by yourselves, and you did try to protect your friend by being smart, they can say, right? Now say, and now there are consequences for you as well, for him and for you as well. Now, how you react to this? Are you going to take the responsibility for what you did? Or are you going to blame all this on that guy? You think I helped him out and now I am also in trouble, right? Now let him alone be in trouble. I will try to protect myself whatever way I can. That will be my question of how the ethical situation I have put on for you, for the ethical dilemma. Is my question clear?
Yes, it is.
Okay then, sir. Please, let me have answer.
Thank you, sir, for your question, sir.
It's indeed a very complicated situation for us right now. Now that you've mentioned that, what if the authorities find out? And I won't deny there's a good possibility it might happen. We've suggested numerous ways to handle the problem, but we've not calculated the possibility that what if during those solutions somebody finds out, or somebody, let's say, just goes and outright tells the authority for whatever reason. So, sir, in my opinion, now that this thing has already happened, we're in trouble anyhow. If we go and report it, we'll be in trouble because, as it is mentioned in the case study, we are with him in whatever party or gathering of sorts, and we are involved in the act too. Other than that, if, let's say, if we don't inform the authorities, we tackle the problem ourselves, and then we're caught, we're in trouble anyhow. I agree that maybe the punishment would be slightly worse if we are caught rather than if we inform ourselves. But I think the risk analysis, if I do the risk analysis, it's a calculated bet, sir. We have much more to lose if we just inform. If we just inform rather than not taking the risk of not informing. So, sir, in my opinion, I'll still take the risk of not informing and handling the situation for me as well as my friend, as I might not be in a lot of trouble, but like it's mentioned in the case study, Rohan could lose his scholarship, and that would be way worse, sir. Instead of a detention or instead of a suspension, it could lead to immediate investigation as well. So I think, sir, the risk analysis would favor not informing.
Okay.
I hope my teammate has something to continue. Ishan, please.
Yes, adding on to what Shivan said, sir, great question from your side. In fact, we didn't really think about it, but now that you've made us think about it, sir, when we are confronted, we will definitely, agree to what we have done, because here, these are my ethics. That's why I'm covering up for him. And I'm pretty sure, there are some consequences to a lot of ethical decisions out there. When we are presented with a moral dilemma, there is no right answer. It is what the person believes right in the situation, what is right and what is wrong, right? So it is for the judge, the person, to believe if it is okay or not. So I personally believe that what I'm doing is the most rational and reasonable decision that I have made. Indeed, the consequences might not be good, but I tried to look out for my friend, and I'm ready to face the consequences for that. That is, if the judge believes what we did was wrong, considering that he was in a situation, we did not want him to lose his scholarship, and he already comes from a low-income family. If the judge sympathizes with us, which I'm not sure he will, I'm pretty sure that we are on the clear. Right, and if he doesn't, then we will face the consequences, and we will find a way out of it. And not just that, sir, this is a party, and this wasn't just two people having fun, it was a group of people having fun, and they cannot suspend the whole group of people from the university just because they were having a little party in the university apartment. And if they do, then it is their loss. I believe students won't be able to perform well in their college. Apart from that, I guess that is how we'll go about it. I think this is our stand, and we stick to the course of action that we came up with. Thank you, sir.
Great.
Team A, is that all from your side?
I believe yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Advocate K.C. Joshi, for your question. And I must say that Team A has presented their views compendiously. Now I request our next judge, Dr. Ipsit Pratap Singh, Assistant Professor, Department of History, to kindly pose his question to Team A. Dr. Ipsit.
Thank you, ma'am. Wonderful presentation, excellent presentation by Team A, and good question asked by Team B. And my question is that Ishan has just talked about rationale behind it, rationalization, reasoning. So there is a concept in psychology, defense mechanism. Maybe you are not aware about it, or maybe you are aware about it. So to what extent we can use these defense mechanisms? And in every part of our life, there are two solutions. One is idealistic and one is, practical solution. And whatever you are saying, you people are saying are practical solutions. So what is the limit? Though this situation is very tricky, but my question is very straightforward. So what is the limit that you just said that we can have a little alcohol, we can do the party, we can do like this. So I want to ask that what is the limit to you? Means क्या होता, आप क्या हो जाता जो आप जाके उसको कंप्लेन करते या बताते? So I want to ask the limit. Have you got my question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
So to answer your question, so when it comes to defense mechanism, of course, there is a limit to that as well. And if it comes to, again, facing the consequences, we will. Because to achieve something, we have to lose something. And in this case, we might actually lose something, right? So when it comes to the limits, a person should understand their own limits, because a capacity of a person, only they know. If my friend was being abusive, or he got into violence, and or he deliberately got into this accident, then that is the place where he has crossed the limit, that thin line that he has crossed, right? That is where I would, think my decision. I would think about my course of action, and my solution might change, because in this case study, it is not clearly mentioned what he did, where he might have gone wrong. We need the details to understand that. But based on your question, I would say if he is in the wrong, then it is my duty to work on it as well. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Sir, I would like to continue. So just like Ishan said, it's not specifically specified in the case study that what extent has he gone to. So just like that, I would like to relate it to the, like I mentioned earlier in my first answer as well, the risk evaluation. So the medical situation also has to be assessed. So whether it's a, how deep the wound is, how troublesome could it be in the future? Like in the case study, it is mentioned that he was just, let's say, a little tipsy, and he was just merrily dancing around, and he cut his hand with a bottle. So that does not sound like an extreme problem to me. Something which almost all of us deal with on a daily basis. It's not mentioned whether he was out of hand or whether he was completely out of his senses or something of the sorts. He was a little tipsy, but he was not out of control. About, sir, what extent can we go to? I think, sir, when we are in a situation like this, it is a natural response for us to cover it up. I'm not saying it's ethical. I'm saying it's practical, and it's not even practical, but it's the only way we see when we're in a situation like this. So while we are here to discuss ethics, it is completely useless for us to keep discussing it if we do not understand the practicality of the situation. So, sir, in my opinion, one lie always leads to another lie. It's the course of nature. But, sir, the limit has to be drawn. Like you said, what's the limit? So the limit will be drawn when we're in the situation and we realize that we can't go any further. And when the situation gets out of hand, and when we are not in control of the situation anymore. I hope, sir, that answers your question. Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice. One thing I would like to say, that when I was listening to you guys, I don't think I am listening to the students of Army School. You sound like the diplomats to me. Wonderfully presented. Thank you.
I would like to add something here, Dr. Ipsit. They sound like diplomats because it is ethics board.
Yes.
They have to be diplomats.
Yes.
Am I right, children?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So now I request our next judge, Dr. Swati Datta, BA, MBA Finance, to kindly pose her question to Team A.
All right, Team A, that was an almost exhaustive presentation. Team B, an appreciative thought process too. I'll straight away dive into the question. Okay, Team A, which approach would you support? An approach in colleges where students are 18 plus, to allow students to consume alcohol in a controlled manner, or a zero tolerance policy for alcohol consumption in colleges? Should I repeat?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Which approach would you support? There are two approaches I've given you. In colleges, like when everyone is almost 18 plus. So the first approach is to allow students to consume alcohol in a controlled environment. And the second approach is zero tolerance policy for alcohol consumption.
Understood, ma'am. Thank you for your question, ma'am. And I think to perfectly answer your question, we'd had to be in under the law, right? We have to relate it to the law, and it's a fact that state laws for consumption of alcohol is different in all states. So, firstly, ma'am, I think it depends a lot about the state laws as well. In some states like UP or Delhi, it's 25. In states like Goa or in Union Territory like Puducherry, it is 18. So a lot depends on the location of the college, firstly. Secondly, ma'am, I think the more we try to resist it, the more people try to do it. You can never really restrict somebody from doing anything. The more restrictions we put, the firmer the rules become. It's for some reason, it's human tendency to break out of the chains and break the barriers. So I think instead of that, a smarter solution, in my opinion, would be to allow to not exactly allow allow the consumption of alcohol, but like you mentioned, allow the consumption in a controlled manner, in a supervised environment, in a controlled environment. There needs to be a limit, ma'am. And I think when it's a permission, it's a provision that you can consume alcohol in a supervised manner. Students will be more open and more. When there will be more control over the students by the teacher or by the hostel warden or whatever authorities there are. To continue, I would like my teammate to continue.
Thank you, Shivansh. Ma'am, I completely agree with Shivansh here. In fact, a lot of states have different age limits, right? So based on the state or where the college is, I would suggest the drinking, because if it's a normal thing there, then I think it should be limited, right? It should be controlled and regulated in accordance of that. But assuming it's a place like Delhi or Pune, Mumbai, then of course it shouldn't be tolerated, because it's a big city, first of all, plus the laws are different, and university is a place where you go to study. In fact, a regulated manner is fine, but it should be the place and the state should be looked upon. It should be thought over, and then this decision should be taken. Because as Shivan said, people tend to go out of the box and do things they want when they are restricted to. I am pretty sure you have seen students or people doing the things that they're not asked to do just to be rebellious. And that is why in fact, again, I agree with Shivansh that it should be regulated. Thank you.
Ma'am, I would like to add something to the answer. I thought I'll take an example with what we're dealing with here. The college in this case study has zero tolerance policy, yet Rohan and so many other kids, I'm sure, are involved in partying and drinking in parties. So, ma'am, I think that's a clear example of what actually happens and what's the reality of it. So I think, ma'am, instead of that, like you said, promoting controlled manner, and as well as educating people about how to handle your liquor and about how proper control measures if in case you think you're losing your senses. I think informing people, keeping a medical team standby at all times I think these solutions would help and help manage the problem well. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Is it all, teammate, from your side?
I believe yes, ma'am.
Great. Very well presented, Team A, and thank you, ma'am, and all our jury members. With this, we have come to the end of the first part of today's practice session, and now it is time for the 15-minute break. After the break, we will have a same course of action for Team B. By the time, you can enjoy the virtual tour of APS Raiwala. Thank you.
When you're seeking truth, you are seeking God. Truth exists, so God too exists. Truth is considered to be life-giving as breath itself. Just as a person without breath becomes useless, life without truth becomes useless, a dwelling place of strife and grief. Believe that when I say there is nothing more precious, nothing more sweeter, nothing more lasting than truth itself.
Army School Raiwala, established in 1981, is a senior secondary co-educational institution primarily catering to the wards of defense personnel. It also welcomes the children of civilians. With the changes in the modern techniques of education, APS Raiwala is trying to keep pace with the ever-changing trend. We at APS Raiwala strive to give freedom of expression to our child's inherent talents.
Hello, good day to you all. I am Anchal Negi, TGT English.
I am Sangeeta, TGT English.
And today, we are going to take you on a virtual tour of Army Public School, Raiwala.
Let's go.
As we go through the main entrance of the school building, we pass through the reception area.
Has a wonderful infrastructure, and we are privileged to have a wonderful team of teaching and non-teaching staff with us. The last 2 years of pandemic have taught us a lot about technology.
Moving to the senior wing, right next to me is the alumni board. Along with the wall of achievers, the shining stars of APS Raiwala, these students have made the school proud, and we wish them success for their future.
The student, the theoretical knowledge of the student, we take the student from the classes to practical lab, like we are used galvanometer for using the deflection of the current, and a meter for measuring the current.
Right next to it, we have the chemistry lab, which is perfect solving the problems as it has all the solutions.
Some of the concepts are not clear for students in the class, so we take them in laboratory and demonstrate them, and so all concepts will be cleared in the lab. And we perform different types of experiments, like and test for nitrate ion. So sometimes we taught in class, but student not cleared properly, so we performed in lab, so concept will be cleared.
As you all know, it is a very basic requirement of ours. As blood is a connective tissue, we all know that it has a connectivity or a reach to each and every tissue or cell of our body, however beneath or deep it was. As you all know, we all require the amino acids, glucose, oxygen, and the very important one component on here is blood goes to the lungs for the oxygenation and for the removal of the metabolic waste. That is. There are any doubts? Any doubts? Any questions? Yes. And which is the largest vein? The largest wind, a very nice question it is. The largest wind means the main vessel which is going to collect the deoxygenated blood. How the metabolic waste is collected?
The only way to discover the limits of the possible is to go beyond them into the impossible. With a vision to cultivate the students of APS Raiwala as new tech innovators, this lab has been set up under Atal Innovation Mission. This lab is equipped with do-it-yourself kits and all the instruments related to science.
The objective of this lab is to foster curiosity, creativity, and imagination in young minds and inculcate skills such as design mindset, computational thinking, adaptive learning, physical computing, etc. The school is truly making all sincere efforts to create innovators for a skilled India.
एक अच्छी पुस्तक 1000 दोस्तों के बराबर होती है और एक अच्छा मित्र एक पुस्तकालय के समान होता है। ताकि मैं अपने लाइब्रेरी की एक विशेषता बताता हूँ। ये हम लोगों ने एक स्क्रैप बुक तैयार किया है। We develop reading habit.
Character and beauty to the walls of our school and the sincere work done by our teachers and students, the result is in front of you. The wall that you see here shows the beauty and culture of our state, Uttarakhand. These paintings are rudimentary wall paintings that use a set of basic geometric shapes, a circle, a triangle, and a square. These shapes are symbolic of different elements of nature.
Hello, this is Ranjit Singh, TGT Mathematics, APS Raiwala. Now I'm going to show you some paintings on the wall, which are the part of the mathematics. And the CBSE, as you know, that CBSE has introduced art integrated learning in the schools, and the motive of which is the using the art to make the teaching of the different subjects more effective and more interesting. Now you can see on the wall the painting in which are the students of our school.
students into all the concepts term-wise as we have planned out. So all these are models which our students have made using all reclaimed material. We are also incorporating a lot of ideas of art integration project because it's a very child-friendly method of learning new concepts in social sciences and especially in geography. And we are also having all kinds of resources like question banks and the new format of MCQs that has been introduced by CBSE. We are having all resources in the lab so that the children can take maximum benefit out of it.
This model shows Earth radiation budget. Incoming short wavelength are come from the sun and 16% absorbed by the atmosphere. 51%.
अब सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन ये आता है कि आर्ट और सब्जेक्ट से क्यों अलग है। तो पर्सनली मुझे लगता है कि आर्ट इसीलिए और सब्जेक्ट क्योंकि ये हम अपनी इमेजिनेशन से करते हैं। और सब्जेक्ट में क्या होता है, उसमें प्रॉपर सिलेबस होता है, लेकिन आर्ट में क्या होता है, जो इंसान होता है।
राग अहिर भैरव में एक बंदिश छोटा ख्याल आपको सुनाने जा रहा हूँ, जिसकी लाइन है सुमिरन कर मन राम नाम। सुमिरन कर मन राम नाम को, सुमिरन कर मन राम नाम को, निर्मल जासु अज तन मन को।
It teaches you about life. It's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get up. Never say never, because limits, like fears, are often just illusions. The students at APS Raiwala believe this with all their hearts and try to conquer the limits.
Army Public School Raiwala believes in the overall development of students. So under this, we are providing the various facility of playing games and sports, football, basketball, volleyball, kho-kho, table tennis, and to enhance their physiological capacities, recently we have introduced this gym, a basic gym for the school-going students, where they can train themselves to enhance their strength, endurance, flexibility, coordinative ability that is very essential for the motor development of the students.
Hello everyone, this is Anirudh Sharma, PGT Computers, APS Raiwala. We are having two computer labs, one in the senior wing and one in the junior wing. The junior wing is based on thin client and the senior wing is having standalone PCs which are interconnected and fully networked. Each lab can cater up to 40 students, and we are using the state-of-art technology, technological aided learning for imparting e-learning to the students. Thank you.
I am Archana Sharma, PGT Physical Education. और हमारे स्कूल में डोजियर रूम को एस्टैब्लिश किया गया है 2020 और 21 में। इस डोजियर फाइल से इसका उद्देश्य है कि हर बच्चे को अपना जो भी डॉक्यूमेंट कभी फ्यूचर में चाहिए हो तो ये एकदम से मिल सकता है। और इसमें इंडिविजुअली बच्चों के पेपर्स, उनके रिपोर्ट कार्ड और अदर जो भी उनके डॉक्यूमेंट्स हैं वो रखे जाते हैं। और ये हमारे ब्रजेश भैया हैं, इन्होंने इसको बनाने के लिए अपना
I hope you enjoyed the virtual tour of the school premises. I feel if you visit the school physically, you will definitely like it more. Thank you very much. You are always welcome.
So that was the virtual tour of Army Public School Raiwala. I sincerely hope you enjoyed it. Here at APS Raiwala, we strive every day to improve and conquer our limits. Thank you for being such a gracious and patient viewer. We hope to see you again very soon. Till then, take care and stay safe. Before signing off and taking your leave, I would like to introduce someone who has been at the core of this video.
So I welcome you all to the second session of today's session. I hope all the participants Jury members and other guests have rejoined us. Jaya ma'am is already there with us.
So eager, can't wait to hear the children, no?
Yes,
the
yes.
logics and
This
all.
is the sign, ma'am. This is the sign. So we have our judges, Dr. Ipsit Pratap Singh. We have Dr. Swati Datta as well. I am dubious about our third judge, Advocate Joshi. Advocate Joshi, are you there? Do we have all the teams back on this platform? APS Lakmuti is here. Ishan Pandey from APS Udhampur is there.
Yes, ma'am, we are here.
Great. I would like to have APS Kanpur here. Have they joined? APS Kanpur?
Yes, ma'am. We're here.
Excellent. So one judge is still awaited, Advocate Joshi. We will wait for him.
Hello, ma'am. I am here. AC Joshi.
Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. We were waiting for you.
Okay.
So as everybody is here back for the session, let us move ahead with the case study of Team B. Team B, are you ready for your case study?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Great. It's like, in the year 2019, an incident of mob lynching took place at a government hospital where you and your brother, who had taken your nephew to a doctor, were misjudged and attacked by the mob over suspicion of child lifting. The police rushed to the spot after receiving the information and rescued the brothers. However, one of them was declared dead on arrival at the hospital. The brother who survived the attack told the police that the mob was led by the son of a local MLA who had great influence and power in the area. The victim's family wanted to file an FIR against the MLA's son, but the police inspector in charge of the case was reluctant to file the complaint. He knew that he would face great pressure from the MLA and his seniors to sweep the case under the carpet. He did not want to go against a powerful politician. So he advised the family of the victims to settle their grievance outside the court, as the MLA would offer a large amount of money to them for their silence. So Team B, your question is, politicians means more often act like as if they are above the law. Why is that? Is the question clear to you, Team B?
Yes, ma'am.
So Team B, your confer time starts. You are now supposed to present your presentation. Are you ready for that?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead. The time starts now.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. I would like to thank the moderator for presenting the case study. So, mob lynching is a term used to describe the acts of targeted violence by a large group of people. The mob believes that they are punishing the victim for doing something wrong, and they take the law in their own hands to punish the accused without following any rule of law. Mob lynching is a violation of human dignity, Article 21 of Indian Constitution. Moreover, such incidents violate the right to equality and prohibition of discrimination, Article 14 and 15. However, it is nowhere mentioned in the law of the land and is hence simply put as murder, since it has not been yet incorporated under the Penal Code of India. In 2017, the Supreme Court, in the case of Tehseen Poonawalla,
versus Union of India had laid down several preventive measures to deal with the launching and mob violence. States were directed to set up designated court in every district to exclusively deal with cases in mob launching. Now I would like to pass on to my other teammates.
Friends, Indian civilization has been known for imparting certain fundamental values like tolerance, brotherhood, harmony, secularism, liberty, etc. across the globe. These values have preserved and protected the interests of minorities and vulnerable sections by keeping the unity of our diversified nation intact. However, this recent inhuman incidents of mob lynching like the Dadri incident, the brazen Jharkhand, and many more have put a stain on the social fabric of India. Mob lynching is indeed a problem which has to be addressed properly. Now, let's understand what does mob lynching symbolize. If your country has frequent mob lynching, what does it symbolize? What does it mean? Incidents of mob lynching are symbols of rising intolerance and growing polarization. It threatens the unity and harmony of your nation. To know how to control mob lynching, we must at first know what are the causes of mob lynching. What are those pillars which are strengthening mob lynching in your nation? Lack of effective law and order. There are no stringent laws and orders to penalize mob lynching. If mob lynching is there in your area, there are no specific laws and orders that are being made to control that. Promotions and provoke of lynching by various political leaders. To fulfill their own propagandas and agendas, political leaders a lot of times try to provoke the masses to fulfill their own agendas, to make them provoke to do mob lynching. There is a lot of role of violence in Indian politics. Lack of public reaction, silence in political class, and misplaced fascination. These are many pillars these days which are strengthening mob lynching in our nation. This is a problem which has to be addressed properly. Now, I would like to pass on this to my further teammate.
Lynching is a threat to society that has negative impact on pluralistic social fabric that constitutes the block of democracy of a true democratic nation or country like India. The law of the land guarantees the dignity of every human being and it does not allow any other human being to take that away. In my opinion, one of the main causes of mob lynching is lack of patience. People are
Excuse me, APS Rakmuti. I request the child who is speaking right now to please come a bit closer to mic.
Yes,
a bit
ma'am.
closer. Yeah. We can continue now.
In my opinion, one of the main causes of mob lynching is lack of patience. People are impatient over the acts of law or try to punish the victim by assuming that he or she has done the wrong and they do not wait for the law to punish the culprit. Now, India is a secular state. Politics constantly works to ignite the crime of lynching as political parties mold these crimes into political and social propaganda for their political benefits. They ensure differences between the communities and capitalize the gains out of it. And I think there should be some measures like providing legal justice by ensuring that those guilty must be punished and spreading the awareness in the generation that people must be sensitized by compassion and respect for human lives. A special law in this field would instill a sense of fear among the people who involve themselves in such kind of activities for the state, that the state must not turn a deaf ear to the growing rumblings of its people. It's the duty of the state to ensure that the machinery of a law or order function efficiently and effectively in maintaining peace as to preserve democratic setup governed by rule of law. Now for the further discussion, I would like to pass it on to my another teammate.
Well, there's a well quote said by Martin Luther King, which says, "It may be true that the law cannot make a man love me, but it can stop him from lynching me." And I think that's pretty. If you just see, it is well said that two brothers were there and they were killed by a mob on just the basis of doubt that they might be a child lifter. I just want to question that from which angle it is true, it is ethical to just kill someone on just the basis of a small doubt. Taking someone's life without knowing anything is completely unethical and completely devastating when it comes to emotion. And the most devastating thing was this, when it came to the politician, when they asked the victims, they asked the victim's family to just settle this case outside the court in return of capital. My viewers, just think, you are selling your emotions for might be some thousands or some lakh of money. From which angle this is relevant? From this angle, this is relatable. From which angle this is ethical? This is such an emotional breakdown when it comes to these kind of cases in our country, that our country is not able to fulfill these kind of needs of a person, that a person is not able to protect his or her fundamental right, which is right to life. And when we try to knock the door of police station, they are like, okay, we are going to handle your case, but let me understand what's the case first. Oh, belongs to a politician? We can't handle it because this belongs to someone who is higher than a higher position. Coming to the moderator's question, that is it true that the politicians sometimes think they are superior than law? Yes. We are disappointed to say this, but yes, they do think that. And the reason behind this is, they might think they make the law, they pass the bill in the parliament, and they're chosen by the government, they are chosen by the people of the country. And might be we are superior because people love us. We are sitting on a position, we are sitting in a parliament, we are passing bills, we are making rules for the country. Might be we are the rule maker also, but I don't think so. They are the rule owner also. I hope my answer was clear to ma'am. And with this, I would like to conclude our presentation. I just want to say that what lynching actually is. Actually, lynching is an illegally authorized way of punishing somebody by an informal group. It's most often also referred as an informal public execution by a mob who wish to punish an alleged transgressor or to intimidate a group. It is completely wrong because we cannot take someone's life and we cannot give someone life. Thanks a lot.
Impressive articulation by Team B. Now Team A, your confer time of 2 to 3 minutes start. It starts now. And after that, you will be allowed 5 to 7 minutes to present your point of view, followed by 1 or 2 questions that you will pose to Team A. So your confer time starts now, Team A. Team A, your comfort time ends here. Are you ready to present your presentation? Team A?
Yes, ma'am, we are.
Great. You have 5 to 7 minutes and your time starts now.
Thank you, ma'am. Well presented, my dear opponents. Let's for once think about the loss of the family. The person who died there didn't die alone. With him must have died his father's smile and his mother's heart. The ability to make excuses for doing cruel and irredeemable things is an unfortunate trait that humans possess. How easily the crowd assumed that someone did something wrong and killed someone on the grounds of a mere assumption, taking the laws in their hand, and at the end, they protested against that very law for the death of that person. Isn't it right to say that deciding on what's right and what's wrong is entirely circumstantial for us? We decide justice and evil according to our own convenience, and the arbitrary power worsens the case. Okay, the Spider-Man fans over here must be aware of this famous dialogue. With great power comes great responsibility. But the irony is that one who holds the power has no self-awareness of his responsibilities, and the one with self-awareness has no powers at all. The ideology of politics as a dirty game has rooted itself in our brains, forgetting that it's the people who has made it the game which is not worth playing without cheating. Now for the questioning part and further elaborations, it's over to Ishan.
Thank you so much, Abha. To start with the quote that Abha had already mentioned, with great power comes great responsibility, and people tend to believe that it is from Spider-Man. In reality, it is from Winston Churchill. But moving on, my dear friends, you have emphasized on mob lynching a lot, right? You have blamed the mob a lot, but you have missed out the fact that there was a huge role played by the politicians in this situation, right? One of the speakers talked about legal justice. My dear friend, these people, they tried to achieve legal justice. They tried to file an FIR, but they weren't able to. Why is that? That is the main question. Why does the why do the politicians believe that they're above law? That is something that I believe you've missed out in your speech, because again, with great power comes great responsibility, and of course, this responsibility, this power is being misused, and it is needed to be regulated, right? For questioning, I'd request Kavisha to take up. Thank you.
The UP government is making arrests under the National Security Act to decrease the number of mob assaulters from taking law and order in their own hand. But in a country where mob justice is rapidly gaining societal acceptance, will any of these efforts which is taken by the government is effective? If yes, then how? If no, then what is your stance on it? Over to Shivansh.
Thank you. First of all, guys, great presentation. It was an elaborate description of what mob lynching is and about mob lynching a lot. But I think something you missed out on was your involvement in this whole process, right? You guys were individuals here. You were not directly involved in this case, but as people living in a society, we have some obligation towards it. We have to sympathize and help our people and people who are grieving. So the victim's family here has tried to file an FIR, but is unable to. And you've told us to, get legal justice, but now that there's no FIR, how do you propose that happening? You know what? I'll skip to the questioning part and I'll make it very simple for you. My question to you is very simple. The question is, how do you propose to help the grieving people? And I'll make it, this is a very broad question. I'll narrow it down for you in terms of acting with the police. The police is obviously resistant to file a case because of the pressure from the MLA. And they are instead, they're even bribing, they're proposing to take a bribe, right? So I would like you to focus on that. Before I end, I would like to give you an example of what I think why police is resistant. In 2018, there was a case of mob lynching in Aurangabad where two people were threatened and forced to chant Jai Shri Ram by a mob. When they did not, the mob killed them. The police filed a case, but unfortunately, similarly in this, just like in this case, one of the members of the mob was involved with the party. There was a lot of pressure from the party, and the police official was suspended. So this, with this, I would like to end my commentary. I hope you're clear with the questions. Thank you.
Team B, are the questions clear to you?
Ma'am, the first question was clear, but if possible, can Shivans explain the second question first?
Yes, Master Shivans is requested to please repeat his question.
Ma'am, I'll repeat that question. My second question to you was very simple. It was the course of action you take to help the grieving people in terms of the police.
Thanks, ma'am.
Is it clear now, APS Rakmuti?
Yes, ma'am.
So Team B, your confer time starts now. After your confer time, you will come back with your answer. And your confer time starts now. Team B, your confer time ends here. Are you ready with your answers?
Yes, ma'am.
You will be given 5 to 7 minutes to answer the questions posed by the opponent team. And your time starts now.
Thank you, my friends, first of all, posing the question. And coming to the part, the commentary you did on us was like we didn't answer, and we just explained a lot about mob lynching. We didn't connect it to the case study. I did at the last point of time. I just asked also to just answer. I just asked myself to answer the moderator question as well. I connected it in the last time. I just answered the question asked by the moderator, which was how this politicians are superior, how to just think they are superior than all others. So that thing I had answered at last. And Also, when it come like they explained everything, whatever was needed about mob lynching. I just connected it to case study, and one thing was also clear. Yeah, great powers comes with a great responsibility. Thank you, Sean, for correcting Abha at that point of time, and that's a great thing. Just coming to the question now, I like to ask Ashita to just answer the first question.
Yeah, so the question that was put up was that what is your take on mob lynching and how are you going to control that? So, getting away from all these laws, police, and all, let's get on to the ground level. You see, mobs are being convinced to organize all these mob lynching, and they are being convinced on a specific topic by the political leaders or whatever. We have discussed about the causes of mob lynching earlier as well. So, there are various pillars on which mob lynching, which strengthens the mob lynching. So if we look at the ground level, so mob is being convinced. Masses of people are being convinced to go onto the streets and to protest in a very violent manner for specific thing. So what we are supposed to do is make people aware about it. We have to tell them that whatever, they do not have to be convinced so easily. They should be aware. They should know about what is right and what is wrong about them. They should be aware of their fundamental rights. They should be aware that what is wrong for them and what is right for them. They should not get convinced so easily by somebody else. Another thing that I would like to add on is that you see that there are various cases going all around regarding mob lynching these days. What people are doing is they are organizing mobs and they are destroying and devastating the public properties. They should be convinced, they should get to know that everything that they are destroying today, it's their own loss. If you're destroying, if you're putting fire on the trains, cars, whatever is there, you are making your own loss. Because, everything that is being built on a public scale, that is for you, that's for the community. And when you're destroying that, you are making your own loss. So that's what people have to be made aware of, and they should know about this. Now I would like to pass on to my further member to explain.
Yes, just concluding the answer given by Ashrita, which is like, we can take, first of all, the question was taken the specific state, which was UP, whether the effective measures are taken or not. Yeah, the measures are taken. Whether it's effective, for me, it is not. There are still mob lynching happening. The stance is well explained by Ashrita that we can just ask the mob, all the mob, people who are taking participation in the mob has to ensure that for what they are doing things. Are they even convinced by the people, or just joining the mass to just be the part of it and just be the part of the group? They are joining this masses and killing somebody, but not even clear what about the what actual case is. Now coming to the second question, what are the measures if not FIR? But I think if FIR are not there, a very great medium nowadays is media. Any hashtag in Twitter which is viral right now will be getting noticed by everyone. Every citizen would know what is hashtag Me Too. Everybody knows what other hashtags are. Means if somebody is not listening you can make your voice to listen them. Just louder your voice as much you can, because if somebody is not listening you, the most better and efficient way is just louder your voice. And that mechanism which can louder your voice is Twitter or something social media platform, where you can use hashtags, where you can just make your voice reach directly to the citizens, and that will be get noticed by the politicians as well. Maybe there's a fear they might lose the next seat in the election, but whatever the reason would be there for them, the main result would be they will listen to us. So I think one measure is media. If FIR is not there, media is something which is more usable and which is more available to everybody. And the second thing which I think is directly quote. I believe one lawyer is among us today also, and they know these kind of things, because we know when somebody is not listening you, our judiciary is us for this, us for here. And I think judiciary is also one of the major things which we can use. So I concludingly want to say, if FIR is not there, use media, use Twitter, Instagram, whatever the medium you are having at that point of time. If not media, then go directly to the court, file public litigations, whatever you want to do, because media and judiciary are kind of a new pillars for our country.
Is that all?
Yes, ma'am. We are done with our answers and questions.
Excellently articulated, Team B, and I must say, the Northern Combined team of APS Kanpur and Udhampur, APS Ratmoti is giving you nice practice to perform even better. Do you agree with me? Now it's time for our jury members to pose questions to Team B. First of all, may I request our Judge 1, Advocate K.C. Joshi, to kindly pose a question to Team B.
Okay.
Sir,
Very
you are there, I can see you.
Very well done, students. All of you have been very brilliant and articulate. I'm very impressed. Now, let me come straight to my question. Now, my question is compensation in terms of money justified when someone has been killed? Right? Let me make it more clear by a real life case. It happened in Delhi some 20 years ago. A boy whose name I think was Vikash Nanda or something. In a case of drunken driving, he was coming from a party late in the night and he ran over some 7 policemen and killed all of them. Now this person, he came from a very prominent and eminent family. In fact, his grandfather was Admiral Nanda, who was Chief of Indian Navy once, right? So he had such strong backup behind him. And of course, there was a lot of hullabaloo in the beginning, but later on, all the lawyers, they did try to convince the victims' families, that now the dead are gone forever. So why do not accept compensation? They can give you a lot of money, right? And it will at least make the family's condition better. So that was what we will say a very absolute realistic position in an ethical context. What do you think of it? Is it justified? Is my question clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Please, go ahead. Think over it, take your time.
Thank you, sir, for posing us a question. First of all, yeah, that's a very practical situation in this country right now. Because if we just see, when somebody is giving us money in return of our emotions, that is something we are just selling our own self. And I truly believe selling our own self for the sake of money doesn't showcase and doesn't symbolize anything good. Yeah, sometimes compensation might look better, might feel better, but for how long? For how long people will think that money is more better way to instead of going court? And I believe when people will start getting compensated in return of money, everybody in the country will start thinking the most powerful thing, even more powerful than judiciary, is money. And I think when people will start running behind money, mob lynching, that's just a minute case. Maybe after that, we have more bigger cases than that, because everybody will commit something, money is there, that will definitely hide it for them, because every case will be covered up for just the use of money. And I truly believe selling our own self, selling our emotions for money is not ethical even, and not something which is going to give a good message to anybody.
I would like to add on here, as mentioned earlier as well, I would like to quote this thing. Money cannot buy all the goods and things that you need to live a better life. Money indeed is a very important necessity today. There is barely anything that you can purchase without money. Money is important for a good lifestyle, but money cannot buy everything that you need to lead a good lifestyle. You cannot buy respect out of money. You cannot buy respect out of money. You cannot buy a good lifestyle out of money. Money is something that can make your lifestyle better, but it cannot give you everything that is required for a good lifestyle. Here as well, you can see that money cannot compensate your emotions. Money cannot compensate something that is there in the deep core of your heart. Money cannot compensate all of that. You cannot get your parents, you cannot get your family members by the exchange of money. Money can just seem better as a compensation,
but it cannot at all cover up all the losses that you will have after mob lynching or after any other thing. Money cannot do all of it.
And even if I just say that, yeah, people are studying in schools, we are studying in schools. One thing that money can provide is admission, the fees, and even nowadays the government has just lowered it down. But one thing which is not getting provided, human nature, and which is something which is more important. And if we will start just behind money, if we start running behind money, everything might get, the humanity might get destroyed.
The urge for learning, the urge for knowledge, that you come at school for learning, that you cannot buy with money.
Yes.
That is something natural. That is something that comes out from the core of your heart. That cannot be bought through money.
You can buy the clothes, but not the look you have internally.
Yes.
So that is something which I want to end up with.
Great. Very nice.
Thank you, sir, and superbly elocuted Team B. Now I request Dr. Ipsit Pratap Singh, our next judge, to kindly put forward his question to Team B.
Thank you, ma'am. I am happily surprised by the insightful thoughts of the students. And Mike, though this case study is already very tricky, I want to make it more tricky. So if a media giant, so this has happened already that you cannot register your FIR. If a media giant come to you with an option that we will give this incident a communal angle or religious angle so that the nation will listen to you, as the team A suggested about hashtags, Instagram, Twitter. And after that, we will say that it was not communal. It was like the case of child lifting only. So what will be your response? So to listen to your voice, they are using this communal and religious angle, and then they are assuring you that we will say the reality. So what will be your reaction on this?
So even if you just see the case, it is definitely sure that after we are going to just give our concern to a media channel, or might be, the surety is still not there that whether our real voice is going to get listened by the public or not. So I truly believe till the time we are capable, just take the matter in our own hands. Because I exemplified Twitter because this is something which is controlled by us. Our account is there. We are going to add whatever the things which is true and which is relatable. So if we will just directly give our case to media that there is a danger, as you just said before, that they might turn on after just telling your whole point of view, and they just turn on yourself only. And we cannot even trust media nowadays because maybe they are influenced by the government as well. So there is an influence of the politician as well. So I truly believe until unless you have the thing in your hand, practice it till that one of time only. After, if you are not able to do it by yourself, then go to media. But I truly, from my opinion, I truly not believe that giving your whole case to represent it in front of whole public through media channelists who works for TRP and all, I don't think so that's a true thing at all. Because I believe until unless you have the thing in your case, in your hand, take it, don't give it to someone, because they might present it by their own point of view. But the thing which happened to you and you had experience, the way of representation will be more impactable. So I think the case should be left with us only, and the Twitter is once again one of the great example for it.
Adding on further, if for instance, at first the first priority should be doing whatever you have in your hands, as mentioned earlier. You can take the mediums of various social medias that are there, that are on boom these days. You can take their mediums as well. But for instance, as mentioned, if a media giant comes to us and he tells us that we would be giving a communal or religional angle to your case, then it would be absolutely unethical. It would be absolutely wrong. We want our case to be represented as it is, because we want to be true, we want to be genuine, we want to be ethical. We want to represent whatever we have, whatever we are. We do not want to complexify it further. We do not want to make it much more attractive towards the people.
We have to think.
If our case would be genuine, if it would be really right, it would be ethical, it would be really related to something, then people and the government would for sure pay attention on it, and necessary actions would be taken, because we are living in a democracy. We have this right to be listened to. We have this right that whatever we are trying to convey, it should be listened. And also, all these things complexifying your cases just for the sake of gaining attention, it is not at all ethical.
And I truly believe we have to understand that the media is working for their TRP, and we have to work for ourselves. In the world of greediness, in the world of selfishness, ones have to understand what is right for themselves.
Very good. Thank you.
We are totally blown away by the oratory skills of our presenters, and the way they are presenting their views is just out of the world. Thank you, Dr. Ipsit Pratap Singh. Now I request our next judge, Dr. Swati Datta, to kindly post a question to Team D.
Team D, brilliantly you've put forward your thoughts. I'll just put up my question to you. Consider the situation wherein the brother who has survived incites another group of people or a mob, and they kill the MLA's son to avenge the death of the second brother who was killed. Will this act be justified in society?
First of all, many thanks to the judge for posing this question. This is really an interesting one and provokes our thought process. So basically here assumption by the mob that the persons they are trying to get a child away. We are here trying to repeat the same situation. We are here posing mob lynching as a completely unethical thing. We are saying that it's not right. We are saying that it's completely unethical. We are saying that it's damaging and devastating the unity and diversity of our nation. We are going to repeat it once again. We are for revenging the death of the first brother. If the second one organizes mob once again, what would be the difference? Earlier as well, you organized a mob. Earlier as well, you devastated everything. And now as well, you are trying to build up another mob and you are trying to devastate another thing. Do you think anything would be solved? No solution you would get out of this. So what I personally believe is that there is no point in organizing another mob. You can go for another non-violent ways. You can go for another ethical ways to solve this problem if you are truly sober and ethical person. That's what I believe in.
And I really think that for an eye makes the world blind. So I completely believe taking the revenge for the mishappening happened to the brother. And I truly believe that if we are going to take the revenge, it is not stating that it might stop the next thing. Might politician bring next person as well, and they start the revenge again. This will continue, and after all, only thing will happen is damage, nothing else. No solution, nothing. I truly believe here also judiciary plays an important role, and they have to understand they cannot take law in their hand.
Also, people should, again, putting forward that point and relating it to this case, people should be aware of this. Like earlier also, people were convinced to organize a mob against a child picketer. And now also, people are convinced that you organize a mob regarding the death of the brother. So our people, you see, people are taken as a medium. The person cannot individually, he cannot do anything. So what he is trying to do, he is trying to collect people, he is trying to convince them. People are considered as a medium. They are taken negatively. They are taken as a negative medium for fulfilling their personal agendas. So this is absolutely a wrong thing. People should get aware that we are not a medium at all. People are a very important aspect of democracy. They should realize their responsibility instead of becoming all these mediums to mob lynching and devastating things.
Yeah, a democracy which stands by people, stands for people, and it's of people. And I think if people will start exploiting each other, there will be nobody to rule on, that there will be nobody who can rule.
As Ashwita mentioned earlier, that what would be the difference? Yes, what would be the difference? Because law is equal for everyone, and it does not allow any other citizen to take the dignity of someone's life.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Team B. Thank you.
Very well articulated, Team B. Thank you, Dr. Swati Datta and the whole jury for the day. So now we have reached the end of the match, and once the jury members share with us the score sheets, the result will be compiled and sent to Awwa Nadan Command. Now I request our judges to kindly share their views with us as to what was their experience, how they liked the performance of the presenters. I request Advocate K.C. Joshi. Sir, would you like to share your views with us?
Okay, when you have ordered, so I have to. Anyway, ma'am, students, this one is the, for me, most difficult part of this to address on ethical issues. But first of all, I will again once repeat, and I deeply appreciate your performances. Really, you have been very articulate and very brilliant. All of you have great future. You are a bunch of bright students. I'm very happy to meet you and listen to you all. What I don't know what one could say exactly at such an occasion, but I want to press one point here. You know, this the theme of these debates, I think they have a deeper aim over here. That is, you know, to sensitize our youth. You are the future of our country. Towards the ethical values, you know. That is, I think, is the deeper aim of that. Of course, you hone your presentation skills, your debating skills. That is very good part of it. But the deeper aim is that you should know what the ethics plays role in our lives, in human lives. You know, ethics applies only to humans. It does not apply to animals. And when it is absent from our lives, then you can see that we are lower than animals. And materialistic success will make you rich, but it will not make you happy. That is the experience of any adult you come across. Just scratch him deeply. If he has nothing more than materialistic success, he is not a happy person. He is deeply very unhappy person. Right? That much I want to say about from my own life experience. That is. Now here, students, I will just share, you know, to relate the school and ethics, your schooling life and ethics, that how much important it is to instill the ethical values in our students, you know. There is a letter, you know, I think all of you, I am sure, would have heard of Hitler, Nazism, Holocaust, you know, how the Hitler went on killing millions and millions of Jews, you know. You all would have been knowing about that, I'm sure. So, you know, what happened? Once a principal, you know, he was a survivor of this Holocaust. So at the start of a school session, he sent a letter to all the teachers. I'm very fond of that letter. I will like to repeat it here because it relates, you know, how the schooling is so important to make us human. So the letter goes like this, you know. He said, "Dear teacher, I am a survivor of Holocaust. My eyes saw that no man should ever witness. Gas chambers built by skilled engineers, by learned engineers, children poisoned by educated physicians, infant killed by trained nurses, women and babies shot and burned by high school and college graduates. So I am suspicious of education. My request is help make your students human. Your efforts must not produce learned monsters, skilled psychopaths, educated Eichmann." Eichmann, you know, he was the leading man of Hitler who killed millions of Jews. So then he said, reading, writing, arithmetic are important only if they serve to make our children more human. That is the letter. So dear friends, again, I repeat that please, from all these things you are doing, take the deeper lesson with you, that how ethics plays such an important role to make us a happy person. I once again congratulate each and every one of you for your wonderful performances. All the best to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your experiences that you shared with us. Now I request our second judge, Dr. Ipsit Pratap Singh, if he would like to share his views about the event. If he would like to share some experiences of his life with the participants.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. And thank you so much, Army Public School Raiwala, for inviting me in this event. And I would like to start with one shloka of Indian scripture, which is said, Ayam nijaha paroveti gadna laguchet sam, udar charitanam tu vasudhaiva kutumbakam. This is mine, that is yours. ये तो छोटे लोगों की सोच है, जो छोटा सोचते हैं, उनकी सोच है ये. हमारी संस्कृति कहती है फॉर अस होल वर्ल्ड इज अ फैमिली. हमारा पूरा परिवार है, वसुधैव कुटुंबकम. और डेफिनेटली ये जो इवेंट यहाँ पर कंडक्ट हुआ है, इससे ये भी मेरे को सीखने को मिला है. आई होप आप सब हिंदी में भी कंफर्टेबल होंगे और मातृभाषा में मैं अपनी बात रखना चाहता हूँ. और शांति कुंज देव संस्कृति विश्वविद्यालय जो हम यहाँ पर हरिद्वार में, जहाँ से मैं बिलोंग करता हूँ, जिसको पंडित श्रीराम शर्मा आचार्य जी जिन्होंने स्थापित किया, और जो पूरा ये कॉन्सेप्ट है एथिक्स बॉल का, एथिक्स की जो बात है, उन्होंने एक बड़ी बेसिक बात बोली, अपना सुधार संसार की सबसे बड़ी सेवा है, जो इससे पहले गांधी जी ने भी बोली, जो कभी भगवान बुद्ध ने भी बोली, और हम जिनके श्रावण मंथ में भी चल रहे हैं, भगवान शिव, वो तो ये कहते हैं कि सबको अपना लो, एक्सेप्टेंस इज द की, कि सबको अपनाने की बात करते हैं. अगर आप उनके गणों को देखेंगे तो देखेंगे वहां सब हैं, भूत हैं, विभिन्न प्रकार के बैल हैं, पशु हैं. तो हमारे कल्चर में एक बड़ा मूलभूत तत्व है जो हमारे एथिक्स का, इंडियन एथिक्स का बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट है, वो है एक्सेप्टेंस, कि जो भी है, जैसा भी है, हम उसको अपनाते चलें. और एक सिद्धांत आपको पतंजलि योग सूत्र से बताकर फिर अपनी बात खत्म करूंगा, कि लाइफ में हमेशा क्वेश्चन आता है कि हम चैलेंजेस को कैसे डील करें, लोगों को कैसे डील करें. एक्चुअली सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज लोगों के साथ ही आता है. हमको लगता तो हम एडजस्ट कर ले जाएंगे. आप लोग जो टीम वर्क कर रहे हैं, मैं बहुत अप्रिशिएट करूंगा कि टीम वर्क बहुत बड़ी चाबी है सफलता की, बहुत सक्सेस की हम उसको कह सकते हैं. तो पतंजलि कहते हैं कि 4 तरीके हैं, मैत्री, करुणा, मुदिता और उपेक्षा. तो अगर जिससे है मैत्री, मतलब फ्रेंडशिप हो गई, कि हम उससे फ्रेंडशिप कर सकते हैं. करुणा मतलब हमें लगता है कि हम इससे कल को इससे आगे आ सकता है हमारे साथ, एम्पैथेटिक उसके प्रति हो सकते हैं. मुदिता मतलब हम देख रहे हैं उसको बढ़ते हुए, उसकी तरक्की में खुश हो सकते हैं. और उपेक्षा मतलब जिसको लग रहा है कि अभी ये ठीक नहीं है, एंटी सोशल है, या जो भी है, हमारे लिए ठीक नहीं है, तो हम वेट करते हैं कि कभी ये मुदिता के फेज में आएगा, करुणा के फेज में आएगा और मैत्री के फेज में आएगा. तो हम प्रतीक्षा करते हैं कि हम हर किसी को अपनाते हुए चलेंगे. तो दिस कल्चर इज बेस्ड अपॉन एक्सेप्टेंस, आवर कल्चर, इंडियन कल्चर. और बहुत सारे मिसकंसेप्शंस हैं इसको लेके कि हम अंधविश्वासी हैं और ऐसा है, बहुत सारी चीजें प्रमोट की जाती हैं, पर एक्चुअल में दिस इज द मोस्ट साइंटिफिक कल्चर इन द वर्ल्ड. और सबसे पहले हमको समझना चाहिए, बीइंग अ पार्ट ऑफ दिस कल्चर, हम इस देश में पैदा हुए हैं, सबसे पहली चीज है हमें अपने अंदर गर्व की भावना होनी चाहिए, हमें अपने कल्चर पे प्राउड होना चाहिए, एटलीस्ट जो भी हम कर रहे हैं. और कल्चर का मतलब, कल्चर हमेशा रिलीजन से भी ऊपर है. इस मिट्टी में जो भी पैदा हुआ है वो इस कल्चर का हिस्सा है. उसका धर्म चाहे जो भी हो, उसको अपनी जो संस्कृति है उस पर नाज होना चाहिए. अगर कोई पहाड़ी है तो पहाड़ी संस्कृति में नाज होना चाहिए, जम्मू से जम्मू की संस्कृति में नाज होना चाहिए, और उन चीजों को समझना चाहिए. बस इतना ही कह के मैं अपनी बात समाप्त करूंगा. और ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट इवेंट है, हम इसको यूजुअली कॉपी पेस्ट नहीं करना चाहिए. हम कोशिश करेंगे अपनी यूनिवर्सिटी में भी इसको ऐसे ही इवेंट एक ऑर्गेनाइज करें, और बच्चों के लिए बहुत ही इंसाइटफुल है. और एज ए जज मैं जज के रूप में बैठा हुआ हूँ, पर आप ये मान के चलिए मैं लर्नर के रूप में आया था, और लर्नर के रूप में ही जा रहा हूँ. बहुत कुछ सीख के जा रहा हूँ आप लोगों से. और इट वाज ए 2-way कम्युनिकेशन, इट वाज नॉट ए 1-way कम्युनिकेशन. हम दोनों ने एक दूसरे से सीखा है. और आई हैव नो राइट टू जज यू, पर ये वो है, एक सिस्टम है, जज करना है, नंबर देने हैं, ताकि आप लोग और बेटर बन सके. ये इस पे साफ साफ लिखा हुआ है, इट्स नॉट ए कॉम्पिटिटिव इवेंट, ये कॉम्पिटिटिव कोलैबोरेटिव इवेंट है. और बहुत अच्छा आइडिया है, आई मस्ट अप्रिशिएट इट. हम अपने आप ही इसको कॉपी करेंगे, आगे बढ़ाएंगे. थैंक यू सो मच.
How beautifully you defined and explained our Indian culture, sir. Thank you so much for your presence. Now I request our next judge, Mrs. Swati Datta, to kindly share her views.
I'll appreciate all the participants today. Very nice thought process. Each one of you has certainly invested in meaningful dialogue, open-mindedness, and mutual respect, which is what was required in this concept. It was a privilege to be with all of you today and proud to be associated with Ethics Bowl. My daughter, she is herself studying in class 4 in APS. I really look forward in the future for her to participate in this concept. Thank you to all the organizers for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Even I want my kids to perform like these people, the children from APS Kanpur, APS Udhampur, and APS Lakmoti. You all have done fantabulous job, children. Now, dear participants, if I were you, I would definitely have asked our eminent judges questions to satisfy my queries. So, would you like to ask them any questions? Any of the participants? Any queries from your side? Okay, thank you so much for joining us today. As we are heading to the end of today's event, I remember a quote from C.S. Lewis. When the whole world is running towards a cliff, he who is running in the opposite direction appears to have lost his mind. We must all strive towards forming own views and opinions without conforming to the society or others' opinions. It was so pleasant to see the students expressing themselves with great composure and determination. Now, I request Mrs. Daisy Sidhu, Member Education Committee, Representative Awwa 1 Core, to kindly deliver vote of thanks.
Thank you, Himani. Am I audible, Himani?
Yes, ma'am, you're clearly audible.
Good afternoon. I, Mrs. Daisy Sidhu, on behalf of the entire Education Committee 1 Core, extend our greetings to everyone present here today. Needless to emphasize, I think we all had a fascinating day. Great display of mental fortitude and composure by the students of APS Udhampur, APS Kanpur, and APS Rakmati. We would like to acknowledge the hard work and commitment of all the participating schools and their principals, as well as the teacher in charges who have been actively involved in the event. I would also like to commend the principal and the entire team of APS Raiwala for organizing this match. They have done a tremendous job. We are also very grateful to all the judges who have taken out time from their busy schedules and have delivered an unbiased conduct which was so instrumental in keeping the spirit of fair play throughout the event. Thank you, ma'am and sirs. We would also like to extend our sincere gratitude to Mrs. Sunita Dwivedi, Regional President, Awwa Northern Command, for her tremendous encouragement in providing this platform for the students. Mrs. Dwivedi, your words and guidance have gone a long way in motivating and inspiring us. Our special gratitude to Mrs. Rita Joshi, Zonal President, Awwa 1 Core, for her constant guidance, unflinching support, and showing us the way through her vast experience. Mrs. Joshi, you are a perfect role model and a great mentor to be emulated. Our sincere wishes, our earnest and intent greetings to all the guests who have been with us through the live streaming platform. It has been a wonderful day where we have seen students express their thoughts and opinions on ethical dilemmas. It is so refreshing and pleasant to see them speak on the issues that directly impact our society. The platform is required and necessary if we want to inculcate and promote ethics and moral values in our students who will shape the future of our civilization. On behalf of everyone present here, I would like to give my best wishes to APS Udhampur and APS Kanpur, who will represent Northern Command at the Central Awwa Ethics Bowl 2022. I am sure they will make us proud. In the end, I would like to quote Aristotle, who has very rightly brought out, "You are what you repeatedly do." Excellence is not an act, but a habit. And we at APS sincerely believe in it. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We feel privileged to share the same platform where you are there with your divine presence. Thank you so much. Now it is time for the song, which is an anthem of hope, an anthem of courage, which teaches us that once you choose hope, anything is possible. Let's all cherish the Awwa song. How euphonious a song. Now I request our jury members to kindly send us the score sheets for compilation of results. We congratulate all the participants for their amazing performances and thank from the core of our heart to all the eminent guests and virtual viewers for joining us. With this, today's session ends here. Thank you so much all for joining us. Yes, judges can send their score sheets in mail. the mail email ID that has been shared with them. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.